Hi everyone. Another thing that I wanted to talk to you about is the evangelism of any design field that you might be thinking of doing within your companies. A friend of mine actually brought it to my attention today when I was talking to her about doing an online or an offline course on design thinking or service design or anything related to, well, innovation or changes within a big corporate environment. And the pattern that we see happening is the fact that people go to these courses and get really inspired by what they learn and how things might change if they actually change the way that they work. But then when they actually go back to their environment at work, specifically for bigger organizations when there's a little bit more of a structure when it comes to levels and the impact a single person can have on the entire organization, that's pretty limited somehow, we feel. And I was wondering if you've been struggling with that as well. If you've been to some learnings or courses or training endeavors of your own and came back really inspired, to change things in the company, make sure that, everything works differently now and you're going to be innovating and you're going to become the company's innovator. I remember when I started in a big software development house, it was just me as a graphic designer when I made the shift, and there was around 600 people involved with software development. Most of them developers, some project managers, some systems analysts. And it was really difficult for me to actually work my way through the organization to make that change. So what I did is, instead of trying to convince each person, at a ground level, that it makes sense to do user research, that it makes sense to do usability testing, that it makes sense to prototype before we actually implement something. I did that not through talking to them, but through actually delivering high quality work or making it faster with higher quality or making it differently. That was one thing that I did. And the second thing that I did, I really prepared myself to get to the top of the company. I made my way to the CEO, basically, and convinced him that there is a different way. And I've prepared, heavily for that meeting. It was with just the CEO and then with the entire board, with the presentation, how the process looks like, what the impact is. But what was really crucial for me was the fact that I wasn't talking the experience design lingo with these people. I was talking business. I was talking about mitigation of risk through application of user experience design processes, for example. That we mitigate specific risks, developing software that's not usable or developing software that's not needed in some areas. So basically I was talking to them not about, innovation or elements that they couldn't really grasp at that point. I was talking to them about what they cared about, and it required me to do a little bit more research about what the process within the company actually looks like and what are the pitfalls and the tips and tricks we might be using to actually improve the process itself. So I'm wondering if you had a similar experience, when you were trying to go back to your company and change things, and for some reason it didn't pan out. So if you could let me know about, if there's something that triggered this inspiration of yours, what that was, and then how difficult was it to actually implement within your organization, that'd be really helpful for me to understand. I'd be able to then try and come up with some of the solutions that I used and some of the tips and tricks that helped me out to actually change the environment, change the organization itself, and how to move in between the levels of that organization to actually make that impact happen. So I'd be really interested to find that out. I'll see you soon.